Hey, Patriots fans! We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved New England Patriots. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. This way, you'll stay updated and never miss any breaking news or exclusive content. The buzz started the moment whispers began floating around locker rooms, group chats, and late-night phone calls between people who swear they're not sources, but somehow always seem to know things before they happen. And that buzz grew louder when Christian McCaffrey was seen arriving surrounded by smiles, cameras, and an atmosphere that felt way more like a celebration than a routine football move. From the outside, it looked like a simple welcome, but anyone who understands the culture of the Patriots knows that nothing is ever simple, nothing is ever accidental, and certainly nothing is ever done without a deeper message behind it. The way McCaffrey was received felt symbolic, almost theatrical, like a statement to the league that something different might be brewing in Foxborough. Players reportedly gathered, staff members lingered longer than usual, and the vibe carried an energy that fans have been craving, the kind of energy that suggests ambition rather than transition. When a star arrives and the building reacts with excitement instead of cautious professionalism, people start connecting dots, even if those dots are not officially there yet. This is where speculation thrives, because moments like these do not happen in a vacuum. They spark conversations about roles, expectations, and whether this move could represent a philosophical shift for a franchise known for discipline, structure, and controlled emotion. What really fuels the rumor mill is the idea that McCaffrey does not just arrive as another talented player, but as a symbol of versatility, explosiveness, and modern football thinking, something that some believe the Patriots have been quietly preparing to embrace. For years, fans and analysts have debated whether the organization would ever lean fully into a dynamic offensive centerpiece who could blur the lines between running back, receiver, and leader. The arrival atmosphere hinted that McCaffrey might be more than just a piece, but rather a potential focal point around which new ideas could be built. People close to the situation have whispered that conversations behind closed doors were animated, filled with enthusiasm, and focused on possibilities rather than limitations. The excitement did not feel forced or staged, which is why it has resonated so strongly with the fan base. When a team known for emotional restraint suddenly allows itself to celebrate, even briefly, it suggests confidence. Confidence breeds rumors, and rumors grow into narratives that feel almost inevitable. The Patriots, long defined by a certain way of doing things, suddenly look like a team willing to explore a new identity, and McCaffrey's presence sits right at the center of that speculation. Another layer to this story comes from how teammates reportedly reacted, not just with polite welcomes, but with genuine curiosity and anticipation. The locker room, according to those who have spoken quietly about it, felt different, more alive, like players sensed an opportunity to redefine themselves alongside a star who brings instant credibility. McCaffrey's reputation as a relentless worker and high-character leader only adds fuel to the idea that this move could be strategic beyond pure talent acquisition. People love to talk about scheme fits and production, but culture matters just as much, especially in a place like New England, where buy-in has always been non-negotiable. The fact that the welcome felt celebratory suggests that the team believes McCaffrey fits not just on the field, but in the DNA of the organization. That belief alone can change how a roster sees itself. When players believe they are part of something ascending, their confidence grows, and confidence often leads to better execution. Even without any official confirmation of long-term plans, the mood surrounding McCaffrey's arrival has already shifted conversations from rebuilding to reimagining. There is also the external perception to consider, because rival teams, analysts, and fans around the league watch these moments closely, reading between the lines and forming their own theories. A high-profile arrival greeted with celebration sends a message, intentional or not, that the Patriots are not content with being quietly competitive. They want attention again, they want relevance in discussions about elite teams, and they want opponents to think twice before dismissing them. McCaffrey, with his highlight reel reputation and proven adaptability, naturally draws that attention. The speculation grows when people start imagining how defenses would have to adjust, how game plans might shift, and how younger players could benefit from sharing the field with someone who commands respect instantly. Even without concrete evidence, imagination fills the gaps, and imagination is powerful in sports narratives. The Patriots have always thrived on being underestimated, but there's a sense that this time, they might be ready to be noticed again, to embrace the spotlight rather than avoid it. McCaffrey's arrival, wrapped in celebration, becomes a symbol of that potential change. Of course, skepticism still exists, because seasoned fans know better than to get carried away by first impressions alone. Some believe the celebration could simply be a welcoming gesture, nothing more than good hospitality extended to a respected professional. Yet even skeptics admit that the optics were unusual, especially given the franchise's history. That is why the rumor persists, because it sits in that uncomfortable space between what has always been and what could be. McCaffrey represents possibility, and possibility is intoxicating when paired with a fan base hungry for a new chapter. The Patriots do not need to announce anything for the narrative to take shape, because the narrative is already being written in conversations, podcasts, and late-night debates. Whether intentional or not, the celebratory arrival has opened the door to speculation about strategy, ambition, and identity. In sports, perception often becomes reality long before results ever do, and right now, the perception is that something intriguing is unfolding. As the dust settles from the initial excitement, the question shifts from why the celebration happened to what it might mean moving forward. People start analyzing body language, listening closely to every carefully worded comment, and watching how McCaffrey integrates into daily routines. Rumors suggest that his presence alone has raised practice intensity, with players eager to match his pace and professionalism. That kind of influence cannot be quantified easily, but it is felt, and teams often talk about it years later as the beginning of something meaningful. The Patriots have always valued leaders who lead by example, and McCaffrey fits that mold perfectly. Whether this move becomes a defining chapter or simply an interesting footnote remains to be seen, but the celebratory arrival has already accomplished one thing. It has reignited imagination, and in a league driven by belief as much as talent, imagination can be the first step toward transformation. The second part of this unfolding rumor dives deeper into what McCaffrey's presence could unlock strategically, and why some insiders believe the Patriots may be quietly preparing to evolve in ways that challenge long-held assumptions about their identity. For years, the offense has been associated with precision, efficiency, and adaptability, but rarely with a single star who dominates conversations every week. McCaffrey changes that dynamic instantly, because his skill set invites creativity. Coaches reportedly see endless possibilities, not just in how he touches the ball, but in how his versatility forces defenses into uncomfortable choices. When a player can line up almost anywhere and still be effective, it simplifies decisions for the offense while complicating them for opponents. This theoretical advantage is exactly what fuels speculation that the Patriots might be building something more explosive, something less predictable. The celebration surrounding his arrival could be interpreted as a subtle signal that the coaching staff is excited, genuinely excited, about experimenting again. In a league that constantly evolves, standing still is not an option, and McCaffrey represents evolution embodied in one player. Another angle that keeps surfacing in quiet conversations is the impact this move could have on the Patriots' broader locker room hierarchy. When a player of McCaffrey's stature arrives, it naturally reshapes dynamics, not through ego clashes, but through recalibration of roles and responsibilities. Younger players might see him as a benchmark, a living example of what preparation and consistency look like at the highest level. Veterans might feel reinvigorated, sensing a renewed opportunity to chase something meaningful. The celebratory welcome suggests acceptance, and acceptance is crucial when integrating a star into a culture that values unity above all else. Rumors suggest that leadership conversations have already begun, not in formal meetings, but organically, through shared work and mutual respect. These subtle shifts often matter more than playbooks because they influence how a team responds to adversity. The Patriots have built their legacy on mental toughness, and adding a player known for resilience only strengthens that narrative. There is also a financial and philosophical layer to the speculation, because moves like this often signal broader organizational intent. Some observers believe the Patriots are sending a message that they are willing to invest emotionally and strategically in elite talent to accelerate their next phase. The celebration becomes symbolic of that willingness, a departure from the cold, transactional image that has defined the franchise in the past. This does not mean abandoning discipline or structure, but rather enhancing it with a spark that ignites belief. McCaffrey, in this context, is less about individual accolades and more about collective momentum. Rumors swirl that the front office sees him as a bridge between eras, someone who can honor the old ways while helping usher in a new style of play. That kind of vision excites fans because it suggests intentionality rather than uncertainty. Even without official statements, the tone of the arrival speaks volumes to those listening closely. Fans, of course, play a huge role in amplifying these narratives, and the reaction has been nothing short of electric. Social spaces buzz with theories, hypothetical scenarios, and emotional responses that range from cautious optimism to full-blown excitement. The celebratory images feed these emotions, giving people something tangible to latch onto. In a sport driven by stories as much as statistics, these moments matter. They create emotional investment, and emotional investment sustains attention through ups and downs. The Patriots, perhaps more than any other franchise, understand the power of controlling narratives, even indirectly. Allowing a moment of celebration can humanize the organization, reminding fans that football is still about passion and connection. McCaffrey's arrival, framed as a celebration rather than a transaction, taps into that deeper layer of fandom, where hope lives. Critics will argue that none of this guarantees anything, and they are right, because football remains unpredictable. Yet speculation is not about guarantees. It is about reading signals and imagining outcomes. The Patriots have always been masters of subtlety, and subtlety often leaves room for interpretation. The celebration could be a simple welcome, or it could be the opening note of a longer, more ambitious symphony. McCaffrey's demeanor, calm yet confident, only adds to the intrigue because he does not arrive demanding attention, but he receives it naturally. That balance fits the Patriots' ethos surprisingly well, which is why the rumor feels believable to so many. When talent aligns with culture, people start expecting something special, even if they cannot quite explain why. As the story continues to unfold, the celebration remains a reference point, a moment fans will look back on when trying to trace the origins of whatever comes next. Whether this chapter becomes legendary or merely interesting, it has already succeeded in one important way. It has sparked conversation, reignited curiosity, and reminded everyone that the Patriots are not finished writing their story. McCaffrey's arrival, wrapped in smiles and excitement, stands as a symbol of possibility. And in the world of sports speculation, possibility is often the most powerful force of all. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. As the chatter continues to grow, some insiders have started to suggest that the celebratory tone surrounding McCaffrey's arrival might also be a carefully calculated psychological move. In a league where confidence can swing momentum before a snap is ever taken, creating an environment of optimism can be just as important as installing plays. The Patriots have long been associated with mental edges, small advantages built through preparation and belief, and this moment feels aligned with that tradition, just expressed differently. By allowing joy to be visible, by letting players and fans see excitement instead of restraint, the organization may be testing a new way to motivate its core. Rumors point to internal discussions about redefining what leadership looks like in the current era, blending old-school accountability with modern emotional intelligence. McCaffrey fits perfectly into that concept because he is respected not only for production, but for consistency and approach. The celebration, then, becomes more than a welcome. It becomes a signal that this team wants to feel something again, wants to play with edge and energy, and wants to remind itself that football, at its heart, is fueled by passion. Another layer of speculation revolves around how this moment could influence future decisions, both on and off the field. When a franchise publicly embraces a player with such enthusiasm, it often sets a precedent, consciously or not. Other players notice. Potential additions notice. Even agents notice. The message reads as openness, as ambition, as a willingness to adapt. For a team sometimes painted as rigid, that shift in perception could be incredibly valuable. McCaffrey's arrival might be the first domino in a sequence designed to reshape how the Patriots are viewed league-wide. Not reckless, not desperate, but assertive and confident. The celebration fuels the idea that the organization believes in its direction, and belief is contagious. Fans sense it, players feel it, and opponents respect it. Even if nothing dramatic changes immediately, the tone has been set. The Patriots are signaling that they are comfortable evolving, and that comfort can unlock creativity that has been dormant. In the end, what makes this story linger is not just who arrived, but how it happened. Moments like these stick because they feel different, and difference invites interpretation. Years from now, people may look back and argue about whether the celebration truly meant anything, or whether it was simply a fleeting burst of emotion. But right now, in the present, it matters because it has shifted energy. McCaffrey stands at the center of that shift, not by demanding it, but by embodying qualities the franchise values deeply. Work ethic, humility, versatility, and quiet confidence all wrapped into one presence. The rumors will continue, the speculation will evolve, and narratives will grow more elaborate with every conversation. That is the nature of sports storytelling. But no matter how it unfolds, this celebratory arrival has already carved out its place as a moment that made people believe something interesting is happening. And belief, once ignited, is very hard to extinguish. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.